Hello, this is an introduction to the Trimble TSC7 controller. I'm your host, Dustin Haar with Frontier Precision. First of all, I want to just start off with a few things on the front here. You'll notice that your power button is more centrally located, and to turn it on, you actually will hold down that power button for a few seconds, and you'll feel like a vibration when it's actually turning on. Also on the top part, you'll see that with this large 7-inch screen, they're all shipping with a glass screen protector. This one has it applied, but it is an edge-to-edge screen protector. You'll want to make sure you have that on there before you go out in the field. Some of the new features you'll see on the keyboard here, this is very familiar to people that have used the TSC3 controller. But in addition to that, you'll notice that we're going to have some new buttons through here. Now we have an F1 through an F12 programmable buttons through your software. You'll also notice that you have a menu button. This menu button here is going to be accessible typically in the upper left-hand corner of some of the softwares that you are in. It's also going to be another feature built within Windows that I will show you in a little bit. To access things in yellow, which you'll see there's a camera icon or numlock or print screen, some of your function buttons, we hit this function in the lower left down here and then the corresponding buttons up top. You'll notice that we do have a front-facing camera. Some of this is going to be accessed within the Trimble software, and some of it will be available features just within inside of Windows. If we look at the bottom of the controller here, it's going to be very familiar to you. You'll notice that you have your standard ports for your 9-pin. You'll also have a high-speed USB port and then a power port. If we look at the back of this controller, you'll see we have some new features back here. One of the biggest features is that we have 2 bays that are available for putting additional accessories on. This specific one happens to have a 2.4 gigahertz radio antenna on it, and it does not matter which side you put that on. If we were to remove both of these panels with 2 small Phillips screwdrivers, you'll notice that that is where you're going to see your options to put in a SIM card and or expandable memory SD card. On the back we also have a camera. This camera now has the ability to do some of your panoramic photos and some enhanced photo features. Also on the back you'll notice we have 2 batteries. Each one of these batteries, it's running off of one of those at a time, and we can hit the button on it to give us an idea of how much power we have. To remove these batteries, remove the stylus, and the back side of that is a straight blade screwdriver, and we can just give this a quarter turn and this battery will come out. These batteries are rated for 5 to 6 hours. So switching gears a little bit here, since this is a full Windows 10 device, I want to show you a couple of the different features you can use on here to kind of help with some of your productivity. So if I hit my Windows button, which is on the bottom of the controller, you'll see you have your traditional Windows start bar from Windows 10 operating system. You'll also notice that if you swipe from the left side of the screen towards the center, this is going to open all of your active programs or browsers or anything like that and show this in a tiled view. This is actually more of a timeline, so anything that you've opened or worked on, those would be options that you can just click on and open that application up. So that's swiping from that side towards the center. Now if we were to swipe from the other side, what that is that's the Action Center. So the Action Center is going to be where your Bluetooth settings are, your Wi-Fi settings. You can adjust your brightness. It's on a darker setting right now. It also has some sharing features and things like that that are all built into this part of the Notification Center. The other thing that's important to know about this device is that it has 3 different touchscreen modes. So I'm going to hit my Windows button on the bottom of the screen again, and if I hit this little up arrow, there's an icon in there. It's a blue icon. Looks like a finger with a couple lines around it. And what happens when you click on that, or if I already have it in my taskbar, I get what's called a touch control panel. So we can tell the controller I want to use my finger or a glove, maybe like a lightweight mechanics glove, or the stylus that's built in. If you have it on stylus, your finger will still work and the stylus will, but if you have it on finger, the stylus will not work. So different conditions, maybe rain or snow or hot or cold, might yield better performance depending on the settings that you have here. One of the other things that is in here that we talked about a little bit ago is this little menu button. So for example, if I use a Windows shortcut, which they'll all work, so like Windows D would bring everything to the desktop, or the Windows button E, if I hit for my File Explorer and I go into select a file, I can either tap and hold down on it, and that would be like bringing up a right click option, or I can hit this menu button and this will bring up like a right click. So if you wanted to copy and paste, or maybe you wanted to share this. With Windows 10 sharing, if we click on share here, or if we did that from the notification center, we can share files from this Windows 10 device to another one or a computer without having to do email or anything like that. So that's one of your ways that you can do downloading and file transfer. Otherwise, like we were explaining earlier, it has the USB port. You can utilize the Trimble Sync Manager. So if you're in the new version of Trimble Access, this is the new version of Trimble Access. So when you were to come up and you were in projects, you have the ability to do file synchronization there. If you're running the legacy version of Trimble Access, this is going to look very similar on a TSC7, but it doesn't have that capability of doing the synchronization when you start up a project. But in here, this is where we have a synchronization. Some folks are using Dropbox and things like that. A couple other things that I want to basically just show you real quickly that are little things to know on here. In the settings, if you were to come in here and do your connections for Bluetooth, if you're Bluetoothing to new devices, you're going to want to remember that there is a default pin, and that's going to be 0000 for Trimble receivers. So you'll need to do that. That's a new thing that you'll have to do running Windows 10 operating system. Since this is Windows 10 running the latest, you're going to want to make sure you have the latest version of firmware on your GPS receivers that you're connecting up to. Last thing I want to show you is in regards to the bracket. So the bracket that comes with the device it has two parts. So it has a rod part, and this here can be in this mode, or you can loosen this up, switch it to the other side, and that brings the data collector to the front of the rod a little bit more. And then it has this part, which actually just attaches on the back of the controller. It clips in on the bottom and it clips in on the back, and this would be your traditional mounting method. Back to the controller that's mounted on the rod here, you'll see that there's different ways we can actually configure this. So this one happens to be, we took that bracket at a 90-degree angle and put it, so now it's holding the controller more centered on the rod here. Again, it's still a quick release to go on the rod from the data collector, or you can take the whole bracket off, and that would be your mounting options. Thanks for watching.